My second year of college is when I decided that it would be time to venture out and drink or party. I started losing a lot of friends because they were graduating, moving on, and I was just continuing to party a lot. I ended up moving to San Diego. During that time, I met my wife in the grocery store. She's been my boss.
Ever since, just to be clear.
We started our catering company. We would do these events and we would be able to pull them off, but that car ride home, it just started becoming hard.
Started?
It just was hard. You know, alcohol is cunning, baffling, and powerful, and the chains that were on me started to become heavier and heavier, and I was getting locked away. And we went into the hospital, and they ran tests on me, and they had told me that, you know, Curtis, your liver is getting to the point of cirrhosis.
The doctor literally looked at Curtis and said, if you take one more drink, you could die. And I just had this realization that it didn't feel like a choice. That's not a healthy person's reality. That's not somebody who's gonna get out of that by themselves. He needs something else.
In 2022, there was a man, his name is Michael, who goes to CRB, and he had mentioned that he wanted me to go with him. The Curtis inside of me that was locked away, he heard a message and he heard worship, and I could still feel that feeling of just being trapped and being like, I'm never gonna be able to stop drinking. I just got on my knees at the side of my bed and I asked God, I just said, God, I can't do this anymore. I need you so much. The next thing you know, her best friend is coming into the home and saying, you know, Curtis, you're leaving here tonight. You need to let them come home and be in a safe home for them. I ended up leaving that night, not knowing what God was setting up for us in our lives. The next morning, our friend Angie, she woke me up and said, you know, Curtis, your wife wants to see you. The only way you can go home, though, is if you breathe into this breathalyzer. And I remember just thinking, all I want to do is go home. All I want to do is go back. She held the breathalyzer out, and I took a deep breath. And I just remember seeing all those zeros. And it hit me, it hit me, I felt chains coming off of me. I felt some form of relief because I had never felt that way. And it was so powerful. And so I went home and met my wife out front. It was the first time that in 2 or 3 years that I was able to get close to her because I was sober in that moment. She said, I have a place that I want you to go to. I finally told her, okay, you know what, I could be away for 30 days. I could be away from my family for 30 days. And she said, it's actually 60 days. And I'm like, okay, now I can't do it. And by the third day being there, they gave me the keys to be the head cook there. And I got to start going in at 4 a.m. and start making breakfast for the guys. And I just found so much love in this kitchen and so much time with God and peace. The one thing that I really was looking forward to was coming back to CRB. I actually ran into Michael and got to tell him that I was 2 months sober.
His faith has truly brought him back and held him here. And it went from being like, I'm okay with death, to I want to talk about what we're going to do with our finances for the future and, you know, what that looks like for us and the kids. And, you know, I'm just so thankful that there is a future because there wasn't one for us anyways.
This breathalyzer represents something that I used to look at with so much guilt and shame. This thing used to weigh over 1,000 pounds to me, 10,000 pounds to me. I hold this now as victory. It doesn't weigh anything to me. We're able to see the light in all the darkness, you know, because it is how we recover.